It seems hard to me to believe that it's been 25 years of hosting. One of the phrases that is sometimes used around Prospect is, we wish we would come to a day when we didn't need IHN and we didn't need to do this. When you stop and think about that, that's sad. To think that there's always a need for someone to have who's homeless, and it's a family.
Wasn't working, so I wasn't be able to get unemployment because my unemployment had ran out, so it was like no income. Like, where do people take you with no income? Because I'm waiting for welfare to come through. It's like I was right at the nap of one of those lines where you don't have any money, so we can't accept you, and you're not even getting benefits, so we can't accept you in any of these welfare programs neither.
The third floor apartment caught fire, and my apartment, since I was living in the basement, I had severe water damage.
It's nothing like having the feeling of not knowing where you're gonna place your family. The place where you're supposed to place your family is destroyed. There's no friends, no family.
And that's how we ended up in Penn Station. We stayed there for a couple of days.
You stayed in Penn?
Yes, we literally slept in Penn Station. Me, my husband, and the kids. And I stayed up multiple nights and cried. Watched them sleep and cry. That's all I did, was cry.
From day one since we got to IHN, it's been a recovery process.
So me and my kids left with book bags on our back. We had like 2 outfits apiece, and I walked from Irvington to South Orange, and we walked, me and my kids. It was raining and everything. So we finally made it to the church, and when we got in, it's just like, you know, happy faces. We like, wow, like, they happy to see us? Like, do they know when we came? They know we got kicked out? Because people don't welcome people in their house when they got kicked out. Like, they don't know how much I needed that right then and there. I needed that. They was welcoming, they hugged, it was like, I know this ain't home, but it's something like it. Ain't nothing that been going on for the last 30 months in my life. So it was like, thank you. You know, even in the midst of that, like, thank you, really.
By far, the greatest asset that IHN has are the families and the volunteers and the congregations out there that really make IHN work.
For us to go and spend the night and take somebody to do their laundry, to bring a meal, it's not a hardship. It really isn't. So how could we not do those things?
With each family, every night that brings in the dinner and entertains the family, your family grows by a family member or more, I will say that. As far as, like I say, you make great contacts, you make great friends. Wherever you go, there's a family that's gonna stick with you and follow up to the end.
It's a natural thing when you are blessed in your life. You see people who really don't have a network and a support system that we all do, and we're very lucky. We have families and we have friends and we have the means to live a nice life, and here are people that really don't have a network, and we're their network and we're their support.
With IHN, you don't want for anything. And that's one reason, like, I like this program, because they give you an opportunity to save the money that you do get. And like he said, it's like a family. We laugh, we joke, even though everybody have their own problems, but we get through it.
Since we have brought IHN to B'nai Jeshurun, we have members of the community who have never been involved in their own sense of religious community or their own connection to what it means to be spiritual. They've found spirituality in doing laundry. They've found spirituality in playing games with children on the floor, with bringing in their pets. I have members now who are not necessarily coming to pray come Friday night and Saturday morning for Sabbath worship services, but they pray the 2 weeks a year that we host members of the IHN families. And for me, that's absolutely not just acceptable, not just legitimate, but an extraordinarily beautiful way for people to connect to their Judaism.
I thank my God for IHN personally, because if it wasn't for them, God forbid, I don't know where my kids would be. As a mom, I felt like I failed my kids because I'm supposed to take care of them and I didn't have nowhere to put them. So I really do. I really appreciate IHN. I really do.
There's just so much advantage to this kind of a shelter.
Yeah.
It's beyond a shelter. It's a place where you can begin a new life for yourself.
Do you like your new house? It's so nice. It's so sunny and bright.
There are some ongoing relationships and times when they'll say, someone's moving into an apartment, they need furniture. Does anybody have a stove or a couch or a bed? And those things show up. I don't know how anybody has a stove sitting around, but somehow they do.
IHN has been the best thing that's happened to us. I mean, look at us. We're home.
So there is a sense of that ongoing relationship piece as well.
What has this made or done for our community? This in some ways is spiritually just an extraordinary profit. I know it sounds like a funny way to juxtapose words, but if you could have a spiritual profit, we have gained huge spiritual profit in this relationship.
I met Ashea, Daquil, and Zaya when they came to St. Philomena's for our week of housing the IHN families. They were with us for a week, and when they were leaving us, they were going into their own apartment. I feel as if we've grown into that realm of being a friend. In the beginning, I guess I was just thinking of helping, you know, what we can do to help. But now, she'll say, I just called to say hello and, you know, something like that.
Some days I still call Sister Barbara. Because, you know, even after you leave the church, it's still a life you have to live. You still have to pay rent. You still got to keep your thoughts together. You still got to keep your mind together. And that takes a lot of motivation. And she played a big part in that for me. Because she has traveled with me, and I have made mistakes after, you know, being there. I'm not perfect. Because sometimes you need people to tell you when you're wrong. You're wrong, you're wrong. But she always had a delicate way, delicate, stern way to let me know, look, you need to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, or, you know, you're going to be right back where you was at. You want to be right back. Then it'll run through my head like, oh, no, let me get up and let me just go. So you won't find people like that everywhere. You know, from what I know, she always been a friend to me. So that's all I got to say, and it's just up from there.